we're at that point in the garden where every day I come out and there's ripening tomatoes, or tomatoes that weren't ripe the day before, or they're blushing. The bigger ones are starting to blush, but these cherry ones have been giving us new fruit every day. This is the first one of this kind that I've had. It's called Cherry Bomb, and I'm gonna get the ones that's a little lighter in color compared to something like that, just because it's supposed to rain, and it rained yesterday, and I don't know how good these tomatoes are with splitting, and I don't really like splitty tomatoes because we don't eat them that fast. So this is my first off of Cherry Bomb. These are my first of this kind. It's called the Chadwick, and I accidentally pulled this one off by accident. I shared before about this tumbler tomato. I just saw it was a cherry, didn't pay attention that it said it should be in a hanging basket, and so it's kind of hanging over. It's not kind of, it is hanging over in this bed, and it never got a chance to trellis, but it still has been giving me lots of tomatoes. It's probably, I want to say, one of the first cherries. I'll leave some of the ones that are still blushing because I haven't had any trouble with them splitting or anything like that. This Testland tomato, it's so pretty. I would grow it again, probably just one like I'm growing now, because Nael, my 6-year-old, has been coming out here. She already came out here and put harvested a whole basket full with blueberries, and she's just been eating tomatoes and blueberries by the handful, but I have not harvested them because they're so tedious. These are my first ones of this. It's called an artisan bee, and I'm gonna go ahead and take them. The plant all the way at the top looks like it's drying out, but it still has lots of tomatoes on it though, and they're really cool. I've never grown this before. This is interesting. This velvet tomato over here, this is the first one to ripen. It's called Velvet Red. Actually, no, I'm lying. It was leaned over. This is called the Sunrise Bumblebee. I was just gonna say that it has striping and it's not really red. This is called the Sunrise Bumblebee. It's actually over there, but one vine, I guess, came this way. In this bed is where I planted all of my dwarf tomatoes, but then I had some spots left over, and so I planted some cherry tomatoes, and I didn't notice that I had 2 Brad's Atomic grapes in there that were ready, and now they're smushy, so I'm gonna leave those there. But I have been harvesting these gold nuggets for quite a while off of here. I have this Mexican midget here and inside that in-ground bed. There are some tomatoes on the other side of that trellis that I couldn't reach, so Nail's going on the other side right now, getting them for me. I don't know how much she'll return with those. She said she was going to eat some. This is the blue cream berries. Blue cream berries, yeah.
Mommy.
Yes?
One went inside my mouth.
One went in your mouth? How did it go inside your mouth?
I threw it.
Oh, you threw it and you caught it? That's what you're saying? Good job. I want to take a second and talk about my new boots. I've been partnering with Hisea for a while now. All my family members have boots from Hisea, but I recently got a new pair because my daughter, Anaya, my oldest daughter, her foot recently grew, and so she's been using my other 2 pair, and so Hisea was kind enough to send me another pair that I've been wearing, and I absolutely love them. I've actually been wearing them for about 2 weeks now. You might have seen them in some of my videos, but I love them. If you go to their website, they have a list of all different types of boots that you can buy, but I always have a discount code in the description box of my video. So I'm just mentioning them again. If you want to check them out, there's going to be a link to these boots specifically, and there's going to be a link to a discount for Hisea to get your own pair of boots. They are waterproof and they come with a lifetime guarantee, and so you can wear them till you can't wear them no more. Now look at this. My first blushing tomato of this. I don't know, I'm not sure if this is the mushroom basket or the Castelluta Genevieve, but it's blushing. And I have one down here that is the mushroom basket, so that other one might be the Castelluta Genevieve that I was thinking about picking, because the bottom is definitely red, even though the top, oops, well, I don't know how much tomato we'll get out of this with all of its holes. But that's one cool tomato. Thanks.
Welcome. No time else.
Last year I grew a tomato that did really well here for me, and it lasted all the way into the frost and didn't have any disease problems. And I couldn't remember which one it was, if it was the Castelluta Genevieve or the mushroom basket, because they didn't have any tags. So I grew them both this year, and now that I'm seeing them close, I'm thinking the one that I grew last year was this mushroom basket, because it definitely had way more lines like this one. The Castelluta Genevieve is liney, but it's not as many lines. Let me see if I can do a side by side. So this is the mushroom basket, and that's the Castelluta Genevieve, and you can see the difference. It's not near as many lines. So I think I grew this one last year. The sun is going down, so it's probably about 8 p.m. and I'm still like sweating out here. It's so hot and humid. It's really disgusting. But I saw all of these tomatoes sitting here, and it rained the past 2 days, and it rained really bad overnight. So I did want to, I think it's supposed to rain again tomorrow, so I definitely wanted to get out here and pick these tomatoes that were ready. I'm gonna sit that basket there because I want to take you to the back of the garden and show you, but my girls were out here earlier picking off Japanese beetles again. I showed a reel of my girls picking Japanese beetles and dumping them into soap water. I'm scared of bugs, scared of beetles, even though when I was next to them it seemed like pretty harmless. But one time I did jump, and I made my daughter jump, and she knocked over the whole cup of water. But anyway, I shared a reel on Instagram, and someone had told me that apparently there's Japanese beetle traps in a bag, which I actually did not know about. So I ordered some. I ordered 6, even though they said one bag covers about 500 square foot or something like that. But I ordered a bag, and I'm going to put that above where my green bean trellis is at, because right now we've gotten all the Japanese beetles that are pretty low, but there's still lots of Japanese beetles that are at the top of the trellis that we can't reach. And so I'm hoping with Prime delivery they get here really fast. But what I wanted to show you was this beautiful zinnia that I didn't even know I planted. I definitely did not know I planted this dwarf variety of zinnia, but it's so pretty. There's another dwarf one, but it's not the same color. There's one here and the same one there. I planted this bed, I've told you guys so many times, of zinnias, and they weren't germinating, and I just started getting desperate and throwing a lot of seeds in. So when they started sprouting, I thought it was just I put like 5 seeds in the hole and that's why it was growing like bushy, but nope, it's an actual dwarf variety. I don't know how that happened. And I'm so surprised I still have not got one sunflower to open, even though there's a sunflower all the way down at the bush bean trellis. I'll bring you in closer and show you, and it's literally the height of the bush beans, the pole beans, and I have not literally seen an open sunflower in my garden yet. And there's multiple sunflowers, they just haven't opened yet. But I was looking up here earlier at my winter squash bed, and I don't know how many winter squash we're gonna get in here, as the vine borers have gotten in here and killed a lot of my plants. Are dying back, but I'm trying to leave them as long as possible to see what I can get. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a butternut squash. A butternut squash is right here, I meant. It's probably spaghetti squash. And I have no idea what this big blue thing. Although I have all the name tags in here, but there's 2 of them. But I'm just hoping that I can get some. Ooh, look at that watermelon. I'm just hoping that I can get some winter squash before my plants completely die. The same thing with my pumpkins. I've gotten all of these little tiny pumpkins, but this white pumpkin seems to have died. This blue one, you can see where it's split, and it looks like the vine borers in there, so it's definitely not as lush as it was. But there are some pumpkins in there. Like, that one's really, really big. And I do have some smaller winter squash, so not all hope is lost. But I don't know how many we'll get. I was actually thinking this watermelon's ready, because it's usually ready when the tendril closest to it is dried up, and that has dried up. But it's much smaller than I remember it being. Oh my goodness, I just saw this one. So this is a cantaloupe, a hearts of gold. I've only got in 1 cantaloupe last year, but I see more growing, so hopefully I got more than 1 cantaloupe. Oh, look, there's one right there before I even said that. Maybe we'll come out tomorrow and try this watermelon. So you see that sunflower is literally actually taller than the arch trellis right now, but it still has not opened. Can we take a second and look at how pretty this arch is? So let me tell you what I'm thinking about doing here, because you see this is where I planted bush beans instead of pole beans by accident. The same thing on that side. I planted bush beans on this side of the trellis instead of pole beans. I didn't even know I planted noodle beans here. A viewer sent me them, and I planted some because I didn't have enough of whatever this variety was. And so I think I'm just going to save these for seed and not use any. But what my thought process was with these arch trellises, I'm getting stuck. What my thought process with these arch trellises was the places where I do not have any vines going up for pole beans, and then I have like bush beans at the bottom. I'm thinking about moving those bush beans so that I have time to plant some black-eyed peas. I saved a bunch of black-eyed pea seeds last year off of black-eyed peas that I grew from here, and there's like probably, I want to say I have 3 ounces, and I really want them to grow. And so I'm thinking about planting them on those 2 spots of trellis by moving the bush beans that are at the base, so that when I plant the black-eyed peas, they have sunlight and everything to germinate. And then also planting them in probably the place where I planted bush cucumbers. And I just have some other spots that I'm thinking about planting the black-eyed peas, because I definitely want to plant all of them, especially because I can actually use this 2 beds right here where there's bachelor buttons that have gone to seed, just because I want to actually get enough to make something with. When I planted black-eyed peas last year, I only had a few germinate, and I didn't have, even though I shelled them, I didn't have enough to like make anything with, and so I just saved them from seed. I can also put them behind, so I have sunflowers in this bed, And I can also put them at the back because the snapdragons are starting to die and they can climb up that fence. That's actually the bed that I grew them in last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if any bean seeds start sprouting up there. But that is my plan for the arch trellis. I'm gonna leave all of the other pole beans there and let them continue drying out and save seeds from them, as well as both beds of bush beans. I'm gonna actually save seeds because the painted pony, which is the bed that I have the majority, I think both beds are pretty much full painted pony, but there are some that are not painted pony. Painted pony is a dual purpose bean where you can use it for fresh eating or for drying, and I've never used it for drying, but this year, since I have the space and so much of it, instead of like pulling those out and planting something else, it's keeping weeds down. I don't want to start all over, so I'm just gonna leave all of the beans that are there to dry and then have some seeds that way. So that's my plan. You guys let me know what's going on in you guys' garden. I'm gonna go inside with my bowl of tomatoes. I'm literally dripping sweat. It's probably now close to 9 since it's probably 8:30. I've been weighing my harvest and I can't wait to the end of the, how am I gonna do this? I've been weighing my harvest and I can't wait to the end of the year because I want to tally up everything that I've gotten out of the garden and also see if I planted enough for the year of each variety. Well, got to my house. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.